Magandang araw po sa inyong lahat at welcome po sa isa na namang video ng Payo ng Abogado. Para sa huling yugto ng Module 6, narito ang Part 3 ng Circumstances which Mitigate Criminal Liability. Balikan po natin ang nakaraang discussion. Tinalakay po natin ang ilang sample cases. We also discussed the elements of voluntary surrender and the elements of plea of guilty. Para sa pagpapatuloy ng Module 6, narito po ang ilan pang mga sample cases. Case number 8. That the offender is deaf and dumb, blind or otherwise suffering some physical defect which thus restricts his means of action, defense or communications with his fellow beings. The absence of a qualified interpreter, the accused is denied of his fundamental right to due process of law. The absence of an interpreter in sign language who could have conveyed to the accused, a deaf-mute, the full facts of the offense with which he was charged, and who could also have communicated the accused's own version of the circumstances which led to his implication in the crime, deprived the accused of a full and fair trial and a reasonable opportunity to defend himself. Not even the accused's final plea of not guilty can excuse these inherently unjust circumstances. The absence of a qualified interpreter in sign language and of any other means, whether in writing or otherwise, to inform the accused of the charges against him, denied the accused his fundamental right to due process of law. Deaf-mute is not necessarily deprived of reason, but a deaf-mute is not necessarily deprived of reason. This circumstance must be proven. Intercourse with a deaf-mute is not rape of a woman deprived of reason, in the absence of proof that she is an imbecile. Case number 9. Such illness of the offender as would diminish the exercise of the willpower of the offender without, however, depriving him of the consciousness of his acts. Examples of such other illness. Number 1. Kleptomania. Kleptomania is a mental health condition where a person feels an overpowering, irresistible urge to steal things. People who have this disorder know that stealing is wrong and could get them into trouble, but they can't stop themselves. People who have kleptomania don't steal because of a lack of willpower, self-control, or a character flaw. Instead, this is a medical condition where a person doesn't have the ability to resist the impulse to steal. It's common for people with kleptomania to feel guilt, shame, or stress about stealing. Many try to compensate for this by returning items, donating them to charity, or going back and paying for the items after defect. Number 2. Psychosis. Psychosis is a loss of contact with reality. Hallucinations and delusions are its most common symptoms. Psychotic disorders are severe mental disorders that cause abnormal thinking and perceptions. People with psychosis lose touch with reality. Two of the main symptoms are delusions and hallucinations. Delusions are false beliefs, such as thinking that someone is plotting against you or that the TV is sending you secret messages. Hallucinations are false perceptions, such as hearing, seeing, or feeling something that is not there. Schizophrenia is one type of psychotic disorder. People with bipolar disorder may also have psychotic symptoms. Other problems that can cause psychosis include alcohol and some drugs, brain tumors, brain infections, and stroke. Treatment depends on the cause of the psychosis. It might involve drugs to control symptoms and talk therapy. Hospitalization is an option for serious cases, where a person might be dangerous to himself or others. Number 3. Personality disorder. Personality disorder is a mental health condition that involves long-lasting, all-encompassing, disruptive patterns of thinking, behavior, mood, and relating to others. These patterns cause a person significant distress and/or impair their ability to function. 4. Bipolar disorder. Bipolar disorder is a serious mental illness that causes unusual shifts in mood, ranging from extreme highs to lows. A person who has bipolar disorder also experiences changes in their energy, thinking, behavior, and sleep. During bipolar mood episodes, it is difficult to carry out day to day tasks, go to work or school, and maintain relationships. 5. Pyromania. Pyromania is a type of impulse control disorder that is characterized by being unable to resist starting fires. People with pyromania knows that setting fires is harmful, but setting fires is the only way they can relieve their built-up tension, anxiety, or arousal. They feel satisfaction or relief after they set a fire. Sample case number 10. And finally, any other circumstances of a similar nature and analogous to those above mentioned. Extreme poverty as mitigating circumstance. The trial court considered extreme poverty and necessity as a mitigating circumstance, falling within number 10 of Article 13 of the Revised Penal Code, which authorizes the court to consider in favor of an accused any other circumstance of a similar nature and analogous to those above mentioned. The trial court predicates such consideration upon its finding that the accused, on account of extreme poverty and of the economic difficulties brought about by the present cataclysm, was forced to pilfer the two sacks of papers mentioned in the information from the Custom House building, which he sold for 250 in order to be able to buy something to eat for various minor children of his. The stolen goods were subsequently recovered. The Solicitor General interposes no objection to the consideration of such circumstance as mitigating under number 10 of Article 13. We're finished with Module 6, Circumstances which mitigate criminal liability. Let's check the next module. Thank you.